One more point, Newcastle fans. This many, that's all we need to mathematically confirm ourselves in the footballing elite before Benzema will be flying into Newcastle, sampling brown ale, sampling a corned beef pasty. Vinicius Jr. will be in the big market in Cosy Joe's on the karaoke, and we will be travelling around some of the nicest stadiums in Europe, dancing, having beers with the footballing elite. Liverpool have just drawn with Aston Villa. It's all looking rosy in the Premier League table garden for us as we face that huge game on Monday. Before we properly talk about any of that, there's also plenty to discuss from the Brighton game on Thursday. Of course, it's the last word. Plenty to talk about, plenty to get excited about. So make sure, Newcastle fans, you stick around. Welcome back to Black White Banter, Newcastle fans. As I make this video right now, I am absolutely buzzing. As soon as I've recorded this, I am dancing into the shower, heading out for a beer, because Liverpool have just drawn 1-1 with Aston Villa. It could have been better. It was 1-0 to Aston Villa for almost 90 minutes of it, 70 minutes of the game. Liverpool equalised very late on Firmino in his last home game. But what that means, Newcastle fans, is the Premier League table looks sweet as a nut. Basically, we need a point to mathematically confirm. We have 2 matches left. Liverpool only have 1. There is a 7-goal difference. So if we lost both matches, obviously that would drop our goal difference down a little bit, but we generally don't concede a lot. Liverpool would still need to make up those goals in order to get Champions League. I don't think Eddie Howe's Newcastle are going to lose both matches off the belt, Chelsea and Leicester. I don't think Liverpool are going to make that up. Of course, stranger things have happened. We've just watched Sheffield Wednesday overturn a 4-goal deficit in the playoffs to somehow get through to Wembley. Of course, stranger things have happened. And if I end up with egg on my face saying some of this stuff, fair play. I'll be the butt of jokes on Twitter, no doubt. But I think it's ours. That is a huge result, and all we need to do on Monday against Leicester, rocking St James's Park, last home game of the season with a lap of honour to come, is just get a point, a draw, a 0-0, bouncing off Botman's ball sack. I do not care how the goal goes in the back of the net or whether we even draw 0-0. Who gives a shiny shite? We are almost there. The Champions League music, I can hear it. Alexa, stick the Champions League music on. I'm going to do it. That's the first thing I'm going to do when I get off this as I get in the shower. Oh, God, it's crazy. So, yeah, we are almost there, Newcastle fans, and we deserve it. I've said on many videos, this team deserves it. That's why we've been in those places all season, and now we only need a point thanks to Aston Villa. Issues with Aston Villa? Bother with Villa? We don't like them. Who said that? I never said that. All the sob on the time stuff, a little bit forgotten today. You know, we'll be back to disliking Villa quite a lot tomorrow. But today, great point. Thank you very much. So, obviously, this is the last word video. Before I get into the points about the Brighton game and everything coming up, do us a favour, Newcastle fans. Whack that like. That goes a very long way and does you no harm at all. It's a nice sunny week. Vitamin D should be flowing through your veins, so do us a favour and whack that. And whack the subscribe as well. Support for the channel is absolutely wonderful, and it's getting more and more. My match vlog, if you go a little bit further down, where I speak to one of my American friends who travelled all the way to England for the game against Brighton. He's there again on Monday, so you don't want to miss that. And yeah, go on. Get amongst it. Black White Banter's on all social media where things are absolutely booming as well. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and Twitter. All one word, Black and White Banter. So this is the last word, and we are coming into this off the back of a wonderful, wonderful win against Brighton. Amazing. The result was the most important thing. One of my friends asked me today, what did you think of the performance? I said, well, it was a good first half. Second half was nervy. Then we finished them off in the last couple of minutes. But the result was the most important thing. So plenty to talk about from that. But I'm going to rhyme off some of the key points, as I always do, that I think are the most important. Now, the first one for me has to be the biggest concern going into Leicester to come out of Monday, midfield issues. Eddie Howe said in his press conference that Willock, who we obviously know limped off, he stopped running completely. That looked bad. I think that was a hamstring. Eddie Howe's also said Joe Linton wasn't looking great neither. That's leaving us very short. I thought Joe Linton on Thursday was the Joe Linton that I talked about in the match preview that I wanted. It was Hulk smash. He went green. Literally, he could have been in a Marvel movie. He could have been in the Avengers. He saw green. He's the most... He's just broke a record in that game. Since stats were created, he's had the most fouls without getting a yellow card ever as a Premier League player. And I'm not saying fouls mean someone's played well, but what I watched on Thursday, it was an absolute shithouse of a performance. He was all over the place. He was hungry. He wanted the Champions League served up to him like a big dollop of pasta in an Italian restaurant in Milan before we play them. He wanted it. He could taste it. And it was wonderful. And I'm concerned going into the Leicester game now with that how short we are. We know Longstaff doesn't look like he's going to be back. Maybe the Chelsea game. Eddie Howe keeps saying he looks better and better every time he sees him, but probably he's not Leicester. Willock looks like I think he's the most likely one to definitely miss this game. Elliot Anderson, I thought, came on for 20 minutes on Thursday and he put in a really good shift. Well organised, well drilled, full of running, confident on the ball, which we know he is. That's why the Bristol Rovers fans named him the Geordie Maradona. I think you've got to be looking to play him. I don't see who else could come in. People have talked in the comments on my socials on Facebook about Fabian Schär playing there because he's played there for Switzerland. I don't think it's as simple as that. You can't just suddenly bring a defender into central midfield and expect it to work. Eddie Howe will have had such a small window this weekend to start doing that in training. I'm not very comfortable with that idea. I'm not. Do I think Fabian Schär can do a job there? Yes, we know he has a good range of passing. We know he's played there for Switzerland, but he has played all season in defence, and that also means playing someone else at centre-back. Yes, Dan Burn can slot in there. Matt Target can go to left-back. We have options now, but I'm not sure how comfortable I feel. I would probably maybe like to see, hopefully, if Joe Linton was fit, Joe Linton, Bruno and Anderson. If Joe Linton isn't fit, yeah, I would accept that you maybe have to start looking at Fabian Schär coming in there because he's not going to go with one of the inexperienced. He's not going to go with Miley, the young lad who's just started breaking into the first team squad. That's not going to happen. I'm worried about that though because Leicester are going to be fighting for their lives in this game, and it's going to be a battle. It was against Leeds. We know what these matches are like when teams are struggling in relegation. We've been there before. They're very much the same as us going into this one, just the result. So the midfield is a concern. On the topic of midfield, that goes on to my next point of the front three. Almiron. I wasn't too happy to see Murphy not in the team against Brighton on Thursday, but Almiron was absolutely brilliant. He was the Duracell bunny who'd had 3 cans of Monster Energy, and that's what we know he can bring to the table. But he also added a little bit of quality in the final third. Obviously, he got a lovely assist for Wilson when he burst past the Brighton midfielder like he wasn't there. Turn of pace, bang, gone. Very similar to his goal to Almiron's goal at Spurs earlier in the season when he turned on his pace and the opposition player couldn't handle it. And I just thought he was absolutely everywhere. He was my man of the match. He was most fans' man of the match that I spoke to. And yes, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a huge Almiron fan because of quality in the final third and because of that lack of right foot that he has. I do think he went through a purple patch in front of goal. But I thought he was good on Thursday, and long may that continue. I had a feeling Eddie Howe might play him for the work rate because Brighton is so organised. And I thought it was going to be quite cagey, quite a tactical chess match of a game, and it was. But I thought he worked into everything we did. Brighton like teams to press them because they take advantage of that. But our press on Thursday was too organised for the way De Zerbi likes his Brighton team to play. We had a well-drilled press where we weren't leaving gaps to push forward onto the goalkeeper and their centre-backs, and that's why Almiron was pivotal to that. So I think you might stick with him. Why change a player when they're in form? I think Murphy's been unfortunate with his injury against Leeds. Now he's slipped out of the team, and it looks like he hasn't played very much in the last 2, so he has been nursing that knock. I think Eddie Howe doesn't want to play him too much. But I think he's unfortunate. This happens. A player gets an injury. A player comes back in. Almiron's took full advantage of that. And who wouldn't want to be involved with 1 point to get Champions League football on Monday? I can't wait for it. The other debate with the front three, Isak and Wilson. Now, I might sound like Mr. Negative Nelly. I don't like it. I don't. I thought Isak on Thursday, every player was good. Every player contributed. But Isak didn't have a contribution that was responsible for any of our goals, really. Not too much attack and play. I think he looks a little bit isolated, and we are not seeing all of the fruits that Isak can bring to the table by playing him on the left-hand side. I don't think he looks that comfortable playing the whole game there. Like, he's only involved in fits and starts like wingers are. You know, when someone is playing through the middle, everything runs through them a little bit. And Callum Wilson had much more opportunity to get involved in the game, across the game. And I don't think Wilson was amazing. People are talking about him as if he was. Took his goal well. Great assist. Should have scored another. I don't think it was incredible. Wasn't one of his best games for us, just because the goals on the score sheet of the goal and the assist maybe makes it look like that. And Isak, I'm just not a fan of him out there. I don't know how sharp Maximin is. I don't know how sharp Gordon is. I know they both came on again. I know Eddie Howe wants to play them together. I know Callum Wilson is Eddie Howe's love child. We get that from Bournemouth, and it's proven successful. Why would he not be? 18 goals now, absolutely incredible. Callum Wilson, we love you. But Isak, for me, is an absolutely world-class player, and we've seen it. We know he is. And I just think he looks a little bit isolated. And until I see something different happening in that front three, I'm not going to change my opinion on them two playing together at the moment. I'm not. Of course, against Leicester, Isak on the left-hand side can turn it on. Of course, he can supply Wilson. But at the moment, Isak, for all of the quality he has, link-up play, directness, he's not being given the ability to get involved as much. I like to see Isak down the middle, running the channels, freedom, on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. We're not getting that from him out there. And I know he's played there for his previous club, Sociedad. I know he has. I'm not a fan so far. I'm curious to get your thoughts, Newcastle fans. I don't know. So whether Eddie Howe sticks with that, I think he will. I think the team at the moment is picking itself. And I think all of the players have the logic of just get through these next couple of matches. We need 1 point from 6. This Newcastle team needs 1 single point. Yeah, I think it's in our hands now. I'm not going to touch too much on teams. I thought defensively on Thursday we were a lot better. Brighton didn't cause us too many problems. The goal we conceded was a little bit disappointing. I thought Dan Burn was better. His goal aside, because that's not his job primarily, so we'll forget about his goal, which was a good goal. I talked about that on the match vlog. Defensively, they were all much more sound. I thought they looked more comfortable. And what I liked about Thursday was the Newcastle that we've known, that we haven't seen against Leeds, that we never really saw against Southampton when we beat them at home in a lot of the first half of that game, that we never really saw previously at teams like Aston Villa. Some of these matches, that was back. The intensity was back. We were on it. It looks like the players were almost refreshed after having that break, that week break, because we've had a lot of back-to-back, like 3 games in 7 days, 3 games in 6 days. We had an organised press, we had intensity, we had purpose with the ball. And again, we've done that where the midfield, I don't think, has been incredible. I thought Bruno was quiet again. I loved how he celebrated his goal like it was the important one, by the way. Scoring the 4th goal in injury time, and he was basically acting like he just banged in the winner with his knee slide. I loved that. I absolutely loved it. It was a great scene. Sorry, I think I've got a snot. Apologies. Last thing I need you to see is what's up my nose. Hopefully the Champions League's up there. But yeah, I thought the press was much better, and it's in our hands, Newcastle fans. But as always on these last word videos, let me know your thoughts on Almiron's performance. Does he stay in the team for you? Do you like Isak and Wilson as a combination up front? I'm curious to get your thoughts on that. And what would you play in midfield? Because if Joe Linton and Willock are both out from Leicester on Monday, that leaves us incredibly short. Would you tinker with it? Would you bring Fabian Schär in? I want to know. And of course, Newcastle fans, let me know if you think we're going to get Champions League. If anyone jumps in the comments and says, no, we're not, I'm sorry, I've got no time for that. I will be calling you out, and I'm not saying we jump to the conclusion that we have it because stranger things have happened, but come on, we're almost there. Anyway, Newcastle fans, I'm going to go and let you enjoy the sunshine after that lovely Liverpool-Aston Villa result. There'll be a Leicester match preview coming probably on Sunday. Of course, the match vlogs are going to be coming. I'm still hoping to get a ticket for Chelsea. I haven't got one yet, which will break my heart. But make sure, if you want to catch all these videos and you've liked this one, to whack that like, whack that subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to go and smash a couple of cans in. Howay the lads.